Oh, dear Lord. Hello there. How are we all doing? Mic check. Mic check. Actually, my little pop filter, I think that's what it's called. There we go. See that? Life is okay. Sometimes there's gonna be a few barriers. All you gotta do is just reallocate everything. I feel like that's what we are. Okay. Hi. Oh, you're sick? I'm sorry, Allie. Yeah, there's a lot of. You can call it a pop filter or plosive filter. Plosive filter. I like that. I like that. It's good. That was a good one. All right, so let me make sure I can see everybody. Trying to catch up. Give me 1 second. Hello, Arseny, Scary, Coco Bear, Allie. Hi, Midnight, Poppy. Hello. What's going on, Nash? Yeah, I see you over there. All right. So, how are we all doing? We doing okay? Are we all hanging in there, chat? He's been kidnapped. I just finished eating dinner. Hope you all ate today as well. I did eat. Thank you. We did that. Let's talk about this tournament in the future, right? I think this has been so far probably the number one question. What's the purpose of this? Where are we going? And I think those are valid questions. And we're going to discuss some of those tonight. Exactly where we're at, etc. um, let's see. The tournament sucks because Persuade is involved. You got me. You're waiting for the tournament? Yeah. Does anyone else remember the Boston version of Persuadable? He's gonna come back. We may even have a rap song with just him premiering. So we have a lot. We all know Scooby Gang is gonna win, guys. Scooby Gang! What's going on, Casey? How are you? When does the actual tournament start? Today or tomorrow? So the tournament is going on right now. So there's been a lot of flexible changes given the overwhelming amount of people who, submitted themselves, right? So when we came out with the tournament, I thought I thought that we'd be lucky if we got 12 teams, you know. I've been gone. Within 4 days, we ended up having 64 teams. 4 days. We were supposed to shut the applications off on the 16th, and we had to shut it off in 4 days. That's how big this tournament got. And then when we shut the tournament off, there were teams who were pretty upset because they didn't get the chance to submit themselves. Which makes sense. That's okay. They're allowed to be upset. We don't have to criticize them. Because, you as a team, if you're told you have X amount of days to submit yourself, then you would expect to have that amount of time. So it's okay to be upset. Um, I think the big thing here is the original plans with the tournament was to make it a fun tournament, and I think that a lot of things have changed. So the original tournament was like we thought that we would maybe get like 12 teams, and then official clans wouldn't be able to play together, other than two survivors on the same team. Hunters couldn't play with their same survivors. That was the original plan, and we were like, oh, this is gonna be like a cute little tournament. And then in 4 days we get 64 teams. And we actually did a verification process to make sure that we would do the best that we could to account for such. So we're very careful and we try to do the best that we can to control for things because historically, and I mean this as respectful as possible, NetEase has failed in that regard. And so we learned from that, right? Like NetEase, we have a close relationship with them historically, so we were able to learn from their mistakes. And 3 years ago we had a very successful tournament. So what we ended up doing, we got 64 teams, and I asked the staff that I'm working with at the time, who's still with me, and I was like, what do we do? And they were like, let's cap this at 64. And I was like, right, but like I don't think this server has enough tournament experience. I don't think that they're gonna be ready for how the brackets work. Like the brackets typically historically were randomized, so like you could absolutely get fucked. So then we not only did we allow 64 teams, then we went a step further and we were like, let's make this a double round elimination. So we already knew that we would be slaving away at that point, and we did that. And so we made it a double round elimination because if you do get fucked by a high tier team, you're not out of the tournament. You get a little bit more tournament gameplay and stuff. Then we were like, all right, based on this, just the fact that we have 64 teams, we're gonna have to go to 2 weekends. So now we're switching the schedule up on the players who applied, right? So the players have been doing a remarkable job at being patient with us based on the changes. And we let them know, like, there's so much changing right now. Like, if you can't keep up with those changes, that's perfectly okay. Just don't think that we're being indecisive here. This is much bigger. This is much bigger than what we thought was going to happen. Right. So then we had to change some stuff up because you got 64 teams. So then we were like, all right, the preliminaries are going to be in the first week. So they're happening right now. So 64 teams are battling it out. And that must have been that was tough on so many teams because they thought it was going to be just a 1 weekend small event, but it just, was massive. And there was no way for us to shut the applications off in time. I think that we had 24 teams in less than 48 hours, and I think we had over 40 teams in less than 72 hours. So, can you imagine if we shut those applications off, how many teams would have been pissed? Rightfully so. So, we've been trying to adapt, and now we're going to have to continue adapting. And so, people are asking what the long-term plan is. So, before we get into the long-term plan, what we ended up doing is we ended up changing. I ended up changing the rules. And I ended up changing the rules because it would have been too difficult to try to figure out, which hunters play with their teams. There would have been too much regulation. We don't have enough time for that. So we just made it into a COA tournament. And when we were discussing this, especially when I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? Why don't we why don't we become innovators? I'm really sick and tired of me and the server constantly always relying on China and Japan for the meta. Well, why can't we be pioneers? And so I was like, we got these new hunters that are coming out. You got Goatman. I was like, what? Why don't we just have a tournament that's never been seen before? And why don't we actually show the server what a core tournament would be like? Because that's what's up next. And let's see what the interest level is. And so nobody really backed out at all. And that's tough because, Goatman, there's no real tournament gameplay on them. We don't have really any footage on a 9-band system. This is the first time that NAEU are becoming the pioneers because we already know that there's going to be coaches in China who are watching this. We have direct contact with them. That's been confirmed. They're already like, we're very interested to watch what's about to happen. And at the same time, with 64 teams, because I was talking to somebody this evening and they're like, man, you just came back to the game and you're about to have 64 teams. Do you think that's a little too big? And my response to that was, not only are we doing the best that we can to make everybody feel comfortable, and that's a goal that will never succeed. So all you can do is do the best that you can, especially with a 2-round elimination. But we were like, we're about to ask at least 60 teams to operate outside their comfort zone. So why don't we do the same? We actually weren't going to have any graphics or anything in this tournament. It was going to be like this. And I was like, man, I'm talking to all of these players who are nervous as fuck, and we're going to be lazy. Like what kind of leaders are we at that point? I was like, let's challenge ourselves. Let's develop software to help us. Let's see if we can get somebody to help us develop software where when it comes to the transitions, you can pop characters up on the screen and maybe get some custom graphics and maybe actually learn how to transition this stuff so I don't just have this backdrop behind me. The other problem is that if you go into the tournament custom lobby, it doesn't have Goatman. I don't think it has Pharaoh Lady, and it doesn't represent the system. So I'm like, so then the product's going to look like shit because the band system, all of that, it doesn't replicate anything. So we have to go to the regular custom lobby, which now means that doesn't, so we can play Goatman, Pharaoh, etc. But then at the same time, it doesn't show all the global bands. So now we have to make custom graphics for this. And we were like, how about we challenge ourselves, even if it doesn't work out great? Because there's about 60 teams right now who are challenging themselves, even if it doesn't work out great. And it's like, how about we actually challenge ourselves and not be lazy as organizers? How about we actually try to get graphics, try to get a production aspect of things, try to learn how to get shoutcasters, try to get all of our game wardens and or game composers and as well as the referees. Like, why don't we practice? Like we got 64 teams. If we had 12 people in the 12 teams in this tournament, then those referees aren't going to get as much experience because there's less matches. Here's the thing that's objectively true. Let me make this clear right now. And this is the most important part of the stream. The most important part of this stream is right now, and what I'm about to tell you is extremely important, and that is that at the end of the day, pretty much, as of now, every single team has showed up. There's been some hiccups, there's been some things where teams have had to figure that out and compromise with us, but almost every team so far, actually every team so far has showed up. So not only do we show that there is a market demand, it starts there. Is there a market demand? And the answer is yes, there's a market demand. Well, you can't argue it. It's there. Doesn't matter about how the shoutcasters do. It doesn't matter how great the tournament layout is and all that stuff. We're not a multi-billion-dollar company. We are running the biggest Identity 5 tournament in history with literally me gone for like 2 years. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to ask all these players to go big or go home, I got to suck it up. We got to figure it out. You don't think that I'm nervous in some regards, right? How can I just sit there on a pedestal talking to you all who have no experience in tournament gameplay, many of you rather, and then preach down to you like, oh, it's going to be okay, blah, blah. No, like let's step our game up. Might not be perfect, might not be good. I got 2 weekends to figure it out. I got 2 weekends to improve. I got 4 streaming sessions to improve and figure out where we're screwing up. The overall plan is that I want to eventually have an actual esports team and esports league on our server, with or without NetEase. NetEase is irrelevant to it. We have direct connections to them, so obviously we're going to talk to them eventually later. But there's pros and cons with that. So this doesn't rely on NetEase, right? But the big thing is about the marketing and the analytics. And there's more things that we need to do after this tournament. So many. We need to come out with a website so brackets are updated live, which isn't that big of a deal. We need to come out with better graphics, with more time, custom character customization, so we have our own, PNGs and stuff that we're uploading, our own custom graphics that we're still currently working on, our own individual software so things pop up nice. There's so many different things that we have to do. And it starts with this tournament. This tournament is just the most important part is do the 64 teams show up. And right now every single team is showing up. And there's other teams who are compromising because they understand that. So that's not just a me thing or my team thing. That's the community. And as you build that up, when we finish this tournament, we're going to have some data. We're going to have some analytics as to how popular the overwhelming amount of people who come and join the stream over the course of the 2 weeks. There's other ways to not only increase that in the future, but there's also ways to actually increase viewership by actually having a real Identity 5 only channel, not just Persuadable. That this stuff gets hosted on. Referees, wardens, all of them get more experience. The player base gets more experience. Coaches get more experience. Then you fruition a positive environment for all of these teams to learn from each other, and then you start marketing it. Eventually, we got to run probably, I'd say, anywhere between 3 and 5 tournaments for me to feel comfortable with a esports league, which they don't all need to be COA. They can be fun, things like that, so we can get the production value out of it. And then what happens is that when you have, let's say 8 professional teams that get better, improved, they can be there, they can show up, we can actually have our own league. Then you look at the analytics of that running on multiple channels, the Persuadable stuff, the Identity 5 stuff, and then you take that data and then you start going to these sponsors and you start saying, you're sponsoring this game over here, but we got a league on NAEU and the same exact NAEU as a mobile game, but we're beating them in terms of views, but you're spending X amount of money on that platform. Why not invest in us? And then you help each individual team try to get official sponsorships. So you're not only talking about sponsorships between the esports and the E-League, but you're also talking about helping the individual teams out. And that's why I'm telling you, and this doesn't rely on NetEase. We're not at their mercy. Don't get me wrong, I love NetEase. I don't have a negative impression of them. Me and NetEase, or NetEase and I rather, have always had a great, healthy relationship. It was me that walked away, and they were super accommodating to that. And they're like, please focus on you, and we hope to hear from you in the future. But it's one of those things where it's like, we've made some strides on this server where we have 2 people going to COA, but it's but we don't actually have an esports league. We don't have big tournaments. And at some point, after 5 years, even though NetEase has helped the server out in many ways, they didn't take COA away from us when they wanted to because of the disaster of 2020 or 2021. They also now allow 2 professional teams to go to COA. But until we start taking things into our own hands, I don't want to rely on them anymore in that aspect. We're over that. I'm over that. I'm a grown ass man, right? I'm at that point in my life where I'm like, fuck it, I got the resource. Let's figure this out and let's do it. And then each individual team, if they do make a pro circuit on our esports, then it's then I'm going to help barter. I'm going to be reaching out to Samsung. I'm going to be reaching out to Red Bull. I'm going to be reaching out to these top these top servers and these top not top servers, I shouldn't say servers, but like these top organizations. And then we'll do the market research. We're not competing, guys, against Call of Duty on the PC. We're not competing against League of Legends on the PC. We're not competing against Counter-Strike 2 or Counter-Strike on or Valorant. We're not none of them. They're not mobile devices. We're a mobile device. This is what we're doing here and now. And at some point, when you grow this up, when you foster an environment that has more tournaments, more opportunities, and let's be real, chat, there's a little bit of a difference between you going in the rank mode just to go in rank versus you practicing because you know that you're going to be on live feed. It's okay to like a little bit of attention. It's not a bad thing. Even if you don't like attention, it's still not a bad thing. And at some point, this server must come together and we say, okay, we appreciate everything NetEase has done so far, but it's time that we go forward here. 5 years, banging on the same door. And again, they have done great in terms of allowing more opportunities, but it's time that we take accountability and we say, okay, what are we doing? And genuinely, when you foster an environment like that, you incentivize content creators, you incentivize people to practice because they know that when they're on stage, people are going to want to watch them. And that's exactly what happens in Japan. That's what happens in China. And then it comes down to once you produce an esports league, when you start trying to get the analytics and the data, you try to get sponsorships, then you have individual teams that could get their own sponsorships. Now you're talking about fostering an environment where there's a competitive atmosphere. And then from there, I move forward and we start promoting what is Identity 5. You go to these Dead by Daylight content creators and be like, yo, there's over like 300 million downloads on this game, right? Like y'all playing Dead by Daylight every night for 6 hours. Did you know that if you come over here, you have the opportunity to go to China, Japan, become an esports team? Did you know that you have the opportunity to win millions of dollars at least over there? And then the more sponsorships, the bigger you grow it, the more the prize pool comes, the more that you can, I'm not looking for a payout. I'm not doing this for me to collect money. Now, I don't care about that. I think I bought this sweatshirt like 7 years ago. I live a very small lifestyle. I don't need it. I got the same car that I owned when I was like 19 and I'm 34. So, or no, actually, that's a lie. I think I was 24. So I don't need any of that. I live a simple lifestyle. I don't care about the luxury stuff. But like, we got big plans. And it's like, when we first came out with this tournament, we had an idea, and then look at where we are now. We have a completely different idea, and I think that it would be good for the tournament side of things. I feel like most teams get along with me, so I think that I'm in a position where we can get this going because I don't give a. If anything, I hope Rival loses this tournament. Fuck Schmitty. Okay, that was funny. I know half of y'all gonna be like, why did he just say that? But like low key, those are my little brothers, right? But like I think Rival needs to get their asses kicked. I think they need it handed to them. They need a fire lit under their asses. They're getting too comfortable, right? So I've always prioritized the server before Rival. Maybe there's been moments where I didn't do such a great job at that as a coach and whatnot because those, all of them in Rival are my, they're like my little brothers. They're like my children. Whether Roland and my leg understand that, I don't really care. I would die for any one of them. But the server at some point the old strategies that we did worked a little bit. We got to the point that we are at now with two teams going to co-op, but I feel like I'm in a position where it's like I got my rest, old man got his nap, and I'm fucking fired up. So let me tell you something. This is the best time to get into competitive gameplay right now. This is going to be way more competitive than what it's ever been in the history of Identity 5, hands down. Season 1 was when we had over 1 million downloads or 3 million downloads between Asia and America. But a lot of people left the game and whatnot. There 64 teams in 4 days should remind you how many people wanted this opportunity. And it's not even a if, it's about more of a when. Get the practice in. Do the best that you can right now. Like I said, I'm a grown man. I'm gonna follow through with everything that I have said today. And eventually, there's steps that need to be made, with the video, the graphics, the quality, which we're not gonna get down in this tournament. We need multiple tournaments. Um, but 64 teams in less than 4 days. And it's too big for NetEase to ignore. It's already on their scope. We already know it is. But we got to improve the skill set of the tournaments. We got to improve the skill set of the overall server. I know Rival is 100% on board with that. We're very fortunate to have a team like that because they want as much competition as possible. They want to go to China feeling confident. They want to go to China knowing that they have competition. There's going to be coaching opportunities. There's going to be player development. There's going to be team development. How we get to an 8-pro team server is going to require the sacrifice of the community. And it's going to require the sacrifice of our professional players. It's going to require time and attention. This whole animosity, you know what? It's like the WWF or the WWE. There was a time for the Attitude Era, but we're over that. I haven't talked to too many of the old pros who are still bitter about all of we were all competitive. It's nonsense. We got to move forward as a community. This right now, this tournament proves that. It's not even like I'm coming on live feed being like, oh, we gotta, like right now, like do you know how many teams have had to compromise just so like everybody could play and stuff? And I haven't even been back. I'm not even on YouTube every day. I haven't even fucking officially come back. We haven't even actually gotten things rolling. I haven't even come out with the second YouTube channel. This is all, it was supposed to be fun. It still is fun. But imagine if you gave me a year of marketing, a year of time, a year of energy. And what I'm telling you now is that you all should be fired up because it's no longer you just playing for some rank session that no one gives a shit about because the entire server is about to change and you need to be ready for it. This is like the extra credit of the assignment. The assignment hasn't even been launched yet. All of you competing right now are getting extra credit. All of you competing right now are putting yourself at a competitive advantage. All of you right now are seeing a taste of what's about to happen in the future. And we haven't even launched the other channel, nothing. It's gonna be it's too big. It's too big to fail. It's just that's how it works. Are there gonna be obstacles? Is there a lot more that we gotta do? Yeah. But guess what? I'm here right now. I'm gonna be here this weekend. Eli's gonna be here this weekend. Hikaru's gonna be here this weekend. You know who's gonna be here this weekend? 64 teams, 300 players. There's things that we got to improve on. We need to get more recording for off air. We need to do a better job at timing and scheduling. We need to know how long matches can happen. We need to do a better job for the players to know the exact time constraints instead of people sacrificing their sleep and their quality of life. People have taken time off of work, like especially in a struggling economy and stuff like that, regardless of what the politics are telling you. There's a lot of blue collar, middle class, lower class families who are struggling, and people are that thirsty to take time off of work because they feel like this is it. And that's sad. That's sad that those sacrifices must be made in order to just hit one tournament. And I genuinely wish that I was a smarter human being. I wish that I knew how to do transitions. I wish I knew about graphics and video design and all that stuff with marketing, but we'll get there. It starts here. It starts now. And right now there are teams competing. There are people right now whose hands are sweating so bad that they have to wipe it against their own shirt just so they can move their character. Right now. And all I can say is that if we provide the opportunity for people to play more and get more experience, that becomes a little less nerve-wracking. And then from there, if I have to, you don't even understand on the level that I'm at. I'll hire business consultants, marketing consultants. I'll hire people to make pamphlets. We'll hire people to make better graphics. We'll hire animators. You don't understand the level that I'm at. And you'll probably be like, oh, like why are you doing this? Well, I have my reasons. What I've learned over the past 2 years is that I would rather live my life doing meaningful and purposeful things. I was gone for 2 years. I got to travel. I got to explore the world. But I'm tired of that. I want to hermit back down, get back into the content creation. I've been going for a very, very long time, and I miss it. The other thing is, and this is just reality, and I don't care. Your boy here, Persuadable, has had tumors when he was younger. When I was 21, I had to go through experimental surgery. The problem is that once you have tumors, you're at a susceptible health risk for the rest of your life, which is what I'm at. So I don't know how that works. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm 34, I'm good right now, but like I have many patients. I understand how this works. So I'm not going to operate in this life thinking that I got a long time. That's just how it works. So with that being said, we got to get shit done. We got to come out with the music. We got to come out with the content. We got to come out with the tournaments and stuff. So that's where I'm at. And I was lucky enough in those 2 years of being gone to meet people who have loved me on a level that I've not felt for a very, very long time. And so I'm healthy. I'm rejuvenated. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. So we need to come back to this server and be like, all right, like we good. Like let's inject the shit that we got to. Let's get going. Let's get fired up. You know what I mean? And that is where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. So this tournament, as long as the 64 teams show up in that first round, we got it from there. Because at the end of the day, nobody can take that away from us. Nobody. At the end of the day, we had every single team show up. We had the people who came in. Do you know how many people? I've probably talked to like 50 or 60 people, no word of a lie, privately, who are nervous, who are worried about how they're going to perform. I've spent over 72 hours talking to people privately, not even being on live feed, nothing, talking to them one-on-one. I give them permission to send a screen. Anybody who has talked to me one-on-one, send the screenshots if you feel inclined. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to do it because I don't need to do that. But if you want to, send them out there because we're going to provide that opportunity and we're going to build from here. I'm at that point now where it's like, all right, I got to go out, I got to have fun, but like now I'm project driven. And it's like, where do we go from 64 teams in less than 4 days? 64 teams in less than 4 days. You got one life to live. I've already achieved my goals academically. I've achieved my goals professionally. I've achieved my goals emotionally, spiritually. I feel very good on that. I've only become a better person as I get older. I'm not gonna lie though, chat from like 12 to like 16 was bad. 21 was like medium, and then 25 was like you still kind of suck. And then we were pretty good after that. So this is the next thing I need. I need a goal. If I don't have a goal, I don't take care of myself. I don't do the right things. I need a goal. You know, and I well, some people are like you should have a wife and kids and family, and it's like honestly, I'm not even interested in any of that. I don't go to bed at night thinking of that. You know what I go to bed at night thinking about? Why the fuck we don't have an esports league in Identity 5? Now, I know you're saying, oh, you're 34. That's a weird goal to have. But it's like, who gives a shit what you think? Like, this is my goal. Why must I rely on your interpretation of my goal? I don't live my life worrying about you. I need to occupy my time. When you don't occupy your time with good goals, you end up abusing yourself. You end up not taking care of yourself. You end up depressed and sad, but no purpose. It's a miserable life. I don't want to ever go back to that. I've been there before. I don't want to ever go back to that. So my purpose before was traveling and meeting people and doing things. I got it done in 2 years, and it's like, hey, Dad's back. He got the milk. And this fucking thing keeps coming off. I'm gonna fucking put it over there. So That's our long-term goal. I don't care how bad Saturday and Sunday sucks with the production, the graphics. I'm learning. I don't care. I'm learning. But the fact that all of the teams have showed up and competed, people have been nervous as hell, no tournament experience whatsoever, or people with tournament experience fearing that they're going to lose. I'm genuinely proud of every single one of you. And it goes beyond this bullshit fucking stream right now. I'm proud of you guys. It goes way beyond that. You don't even know. And there's so many people who are You know what the best? You know what the best thing is? The best thing is when a team comes back, win or lose, and they get the time to process it. I had a few teams who have lost in their first round, and then they hit me up about maybe 12 hours later, a day later, and they're like, you know what? I'm just happy that I was there and I've learned so much because tournament is not rank. It's almost like playing the same game and then like the developers release a new game mode for the first time in like years and you're like, oh, it feels like I'm playing a whole new game. That's what rank is. It it is not like rank mode at all. Nothing. Yo, what's going on? Mano, how are you? I just know it's gonna turn out great with all the effort everyone is putting in. Yeah, one of what we got to figure out this weekend. So I'm gonna get off of this live feed soon, because I don't want it to take up all my time tonight. But we got to figure something out because the average game is going between anywhere between an hour to 2 hours, which we expected. So we're not gonna have enough time to show as many matches as what we wanted, which is giving us the pivotal information that we need to know for the future. So with that being said, we got to figure out how Saturday is going to work. Do we have, even with the top 32 and still in the top bracket, you know, we're talking 16 matches. Do we have 8 matches on live feed, 8 matches off? So then when we get to Sunday, we're in that, we're in the top 8 or top 16 at that point. And then Sunday we'd have 8 matches. We're trying to figure it out. There's so many changes going on. We also need to do a better job at making sure that we can record all of the matches that are happening offline, so then we would be able to post them for everybody to go and review. Um, so we know that there's a lot of room for improvement. Um, but we're also not using that to our disadvantage because again, the most important thing, if you look at the entire tournament, what is the most important thing? If you show that NAEU on some little tiny streamer, me, who's been gone for all of these years, who hasn't even been back on YouTube yet, can get 64 teams without even real advertising, without any marketing really whatsoever other than me fucking around on Twitter that I haven't used in years. Um, that shows the market value there. And then from there, it's also important that we work with other organizers, other tournament leads, because at the end of the day, um, let me look at this. Let me tell you guys something. Hold on one second. This actually breaks my heart. Let me tell you something that pisses me off. Like it really pisses me off. I'm not even well, it pisses me like it pisses me off. So there's these people on YouTube. I don't even know their names, 'cause I've been gone for so long. Let me see this. Give me one second, chat. I'm gonna tell you why I'm actually this ended up changing my whole mentality. It was this one more. They don't even know about this. You know, at some point, getting older sucks. Okay, so I can't find it. Which gets me even more pissed off. Oh, wait. This is really fucking frustrating. Yeah, here it is. I finally found it. That's fucking stupid. That is fucking stupid. All right, so I actually got the YouTuber's name correctly. It took me that long to get their videos up because they have no subscribers. And it's actually bullshit. So, well, it's annoying. It's annoying because there's so many people out there that want to be content creators, and some of them put so much effort into this shit and they get no recognition at all, and it's bullshit. And I'm actually, I'm being actually really serious. Like this is like real fucking frustration that you're seeing because it's horseshit. So, anyways, and it's not anything to do with the community. It's just like, what are we doing? So this is what ended up changing my opinion. So these people, I don't know who they. Well, I do now. Lambo and Lunar, right? Look at this stuff, right? This LO League tournament, right? Look, 8 hours, 6 hours. These are people who have put in way more time, and they got 69 subscribers. And you look at this, right? Look at the amount of time and attention they put into this. They got logos. We don't even have this. Like we got none of this. We have 64 teams. They got logos, they got teams, they got this whole graphic made, right? They
Around
got
for a minute within the community, and I'm very Sphinx has to bring to the table
they
because
got this little cute thing
it's
going on. All
not
these graphics.
it's not a but it'll be fun. One last thing.
Look at these
At a time.
graphics. Look at this. All that graphics. They got to make sure that their software or whatever they're doing actually fits this. They got to make sure that all of this shit's, Omni, everything is customized. These people had such a great tournament. Everything is cut. This looks way more professional than what my shit's gonna look like. Then they go back to their little like shoutcasting thing.
It's a bit disappointing. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm a very proud first officer man, and it is really sad whenever I get to see him banned and I don't get to see him played very much. I do get it. He is a very strong rescue. Both he and the mercenary are some strongest rescuers in the game. But I definitely understand why you would
Look at
rather
that little
ban him
thing.
than ban the mercenary.
Little thing. You see that little pop up? Look at this.
He does have
That
some
little pop
really
up. That's me whenever a woman like pays attention to me at the bar. Like
useful
that's like
launches
the
to
little like I'm
prolong a
on my
fight.
tippy toes to make me look a
Usually to
little
the
bit
point where
taller.
sometimes we just uncomfortably go and target him first just to
5'9",
bait out one of those pocket
right?
launches and just
But like they got, look at this.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see the Bon coming out here.
Look
He's
at this.
very
They
strong
got
on Arms Factory.
this stuff
As well
going
as
on
just
over
being a pretty
here.
strong hunter
They got
overall. Like you
this.
said, he has been making a
All
resurgence in the
personal
meta, especially because
transitions.
we may switch to Warp
You
here.
got
Okay, no,
pit
the Argon will just go ahead
stoppers.
and teleport over. It's close enough to
Who's
where we
playing
know
in
she
this?
is sitting.
How the fuck do we have top teams and these folks do all this and they got no
Oh,
recognition?
it does not actually look like we know where she is.
Oh dear, yeah.
Cheerleader come out
Every
here. It's
single
definitely
time.
possible.
Right? You got band
To
system.
see.
All of these
Oh,
characters, all of this thing has to
oh.
pop
We're
up.
gonna go with a mechanic
And it has
pick
to
instead.
pop
So
up
we're
in here.
gonna.
You have to have
This is a very
software,
fun team
graphics.
composition. We're going double harasser and double decoder. That does
Yeah,
give
it's
some
very
different
Look at
aggressive.
this.
Yeah,
8
I'm
hours.
really excited.
8 fucking hours. 8 hours. And they got 69 subscribers. This fucking horseshit. It is. It's horseshit. I saw that. I was fucking pissed. I saw it weeks ago. When we first started going, I was like, I'm so bad. What am I doing with... I'm not even in a position to help them because I've been going for so long. 69 subscribers. It's kind of a funny number, though. I'm 34, but that's still kind of funny. 69. Ha 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 ha. You're all disgusting. Act your age. I'm going to go to the bathroom, but think of that. 8 hours. 8 hours with those graphics, with that amount of organization. That's a fucking crime. That is a crime. Let alone bringing the community together. How do we expect up and coming fucking content creators to flourish when they don't even have a start in the beginning? Okay. I'm done throwing a temper tantrum. Maybe. Give me 5 minutes, I'll find something else to be pissed off about. But anyways, it's an Italian thing. I think we're a little bit of fire and earth type. Dating them water types, man. Let me tell you something. It's a little relaxing because I'm like, oh shit, this is what it's like to have low blood pressure. Okay, that's great. So, but with that being said, we have a lot to do. I have goals, I have dreams, and we're gonna revamp this stuff. We're gonna put a fire under the server's ass. And we haven't even started, and we have 64 teams. So there's gonna be some changes for this tournament. Um, not with the rules or anything, but with the live feed schedule. Please be very courteous to all the players because a lot of these players have to adapt, and that shouldn't be their responsibility. That makes me feel awful. So, um, these content creators over here that's doing shit like this, I can absolutely guarantee you that as I grow and as I get my shit together and get all these, channels and ideas to come to life, as evidenced by this tournament here, regardless of how great the graphics look and the transitions, and they're not going to be that good, but we're going to do the best. Not that the graphics were any, I'm talking about the transitions in me. So we got a lot to learn, but it's going to take a while. But those who are putting effort like that into it, you'll be taken care of. You ain't got to worry. Dad's back. It's bullshit. It's bullshit that you can put that much time and passion into something. That's bullshit. And not get the recognition that you deserve. And you know what? You know what's funny? Is revisiting this right now reminds me that all tournaments don't just have to be from our team. There's going to be other teams out there who are doing things too. This is the importance of collaboration. And then once we get it all down, we start invading the other mobile games and atmospheres, and as well as the sponsors. And well, we got some things going on here, and I'm excited for it. All that we got to do is just get through this tournament. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be fuck ups. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Who cares? But once it's done, we can all just be like, the competitors and me, all of us competitors are gonna be like, let me tell you how fucking stressed I was, and then our organization team, all of the refs, all of us are gonna be like, let us tell you how stressful shit was over here, and then we're all gonna feel comfortable because we've all just been stressed as hell. And but we got big dreams, and again, marketing, advertising, things like that. I'm not unfamiliar with that stuff. I did 4 years with a few different areas of that stuff. So, and if I have to, we'll outsource it and we'll hire, experts and whatnot. But it all starts with just getting the repetitions in. And so honestly and genuinely from me to you, I'm proud of all the competitors. I mean that. I have opened up my DMs on Discord. Anybody can message me about I've answered every single message. Every single message I've answered. I've told all the teams, if you need me, you tag me, I'll be in there, and eventually, give me a little bit of time, I'll talk with you. But the future is bright. This is a whole new generation. We ain't got to worry about NetEase being with us or without us. Again, historically, they've been with us. I'm not worried about that. But this isn't going to be something that happens overnight, and it may not even, in terms of like the amount of support, sponsorships, things like that, might even take a year. First, we got to deliver the product. That's what this tournament is about, delivering the product. That's it, just delivering it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what anybody wants to say. 64 teams on this server showed up. Please show me any other video game where this amount of cohesion among people who A, don't even know each other, or B, historically have fought each other to death because we're all overly competitive, especially in post chat. Nobody will ever take that moment away. It doesn't matter. If I were to die 3 weeks from now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because this moment is happening now. The whole server has come together. And at the end of the day, it starts there with 64 teams. Show me that on Asia. Show me that in China. Show me we're not a multi-billion-dollar company. Half the time I don't even trust myself to fucking line my own beard up, let alone do this. And then we're gonna have fun tournaments. They're not always gonna be color related. Don't worry. We'll have fun tournaments, and then my goal is to produce an esports team, manage all of those teams in a way that we can get sponsorships so people can get paid a little bit, like you guys, not me. I don't give a shit. And then build up the skill set, see where we can go as a team, make up a separate YouTube channel as well to increase audience size, make sure we're marketing it everywhere, maybe even go and figure out some things with that in regards to other social media platforms, build up from there, market it, and then there may even be other tournament organizers out there. And maybe they, just like baseball, basketball, football, eventually if we can get big enough, you might even be able to have leagues. What is the like the MLB versus the AAA? Because there's like a bunch of players right now who are not happy that they have to go against top teams right away, and I think that's perfectly fine. Understand that there's no system in this world that can accommodate for that in an official tournament. However, the solution to that would be maybe leagues. Are you a newer team with no experience? Well, maybe there's people like Lambo that would have no problem running a developmental league. And those developmental leagues are ran by the pro league players in terms of coaching. There's so many aspects of things that can happen, but it just starts here, and then the possibilities are limitless. All I can assure you is that all of you should get fired up. You should start practicing. If you're into this sort of gameplay and league, and over time, we'll find ways to accommodate everybody. Hopefully, we can't. I shouldn't say it like that, but and then eventually we will be pioneers. And then as things run smoothly, that allows Persuadable to go and start infiltrating the other people. I'll go to some Dead by Daylight streamer and be like, yo, I'll give you $500 for an hour of your time. Put me on your feed. And then I'll be talking to them. Hey, yeah, no, did you know that actually Behavior Interactive? I'm not sure if you all know this, but I'm in Dead by Daylight's 4th anniversary video. I'm in Dead by Daylight's 4th anniversary video. They specifically asked for me to try to come up with content to join Dead by Daylight. And I did it. I did it because of their respect of helping Identity 5 become created, because they helped NetEase in the beginning with the development of NetEase. So this whole like Dead by Daylight versus Identity 5 nonsense is trash. And I have receipts. Yeah, that's right. I have receipts. You ready for this? I'll literally show you right now. Just so you all don't think I'm full of shit. You guys want to see Persuadable in an official Dead by Daylight video? Bro, my biggest enemy was myself because of COVID and my patients that, dying on me and me trying to learn how to become a competent therapy clinician. But that stuff isn't... They actually had me as the last streamer. They had me as the last streamer before they...
exciting
You ready for this?
Oh my god,
Yo, y'all know you wait for the funniest streamer as the last streamer. Y'all ready? This is when they were playing Dead by Daylight. Here we go. There we go.
Damn it.
I bit my tongue.
I fucking just bit my tongue. I bit my tongue.
Yeah. And then they go and they release.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
was like, what the fuck?
Can take a little moment.
And then this is when they finally release the new right after that. There you go. All right, so yeah, I bit my tongue. You know what the funniest part was? Is when that was happening, I was watching some of the Dead by Daylight streamers, and some of them were low key making weird faces at me, like they were kind of making fun of me, like. And I remember every single one of them. I remember the big one that did it. I remember the big one that did it, and it's like, all right, like you low key try to make yourself look good by hating on me, but because I had a fun moment. I remember I remember who you are. I'll have my moment. Oh, you don't know how petty I am. You don't know. I will have my fucking moment. I don't care if it takes me 10 years. I felt so sad about myself watching one of the biggest moments of my career, and I felt sad because I looked up to another streamer and they're looking at me like I'm a fucking loser. Oh, I'll remember. Don't worry. Oh, I'll have my time. You don't know how petty I am. You on a platform with thousands of viewers, and you use that opportunity to try to make fun of somebody because you don't know who I am. Oh, years later, I'm still pissed. Make sure you all hydrate. So anyways, that's why we got big goals, big dreams. Yep. Yeah, they didn't even, what they did is during the live feed, I won't ever forget their face. During the live feed, they kind of did this like, but it's like at any point in time you can do that. You don't know who I am, right? It's like one thing if you know who I am, you don't like me. Then it's like, all right, like there's a beef there, that's fine. You've never even seen my shit. Never even seen my shit. You over there sitting on your couch playing Dead by Daylight. We're going to China over here playing against actually international players. like, like you really want to shit on me. Okay. And I stayed quiet. This is the first time I've ever talked about this. Ever. Ever. I've waited years. Okay. Okay. So anyways, you know what I try to do my best on? What we try to do is we try to build content creators up. Now I'm sure that the more content creation I do, there's gonna be bad moments, right? There's gonna be moments where you're like, oh shit, I missed the mark. But like I look at like Lambo and all them, and I'm like, how can I build them up? You know what I'm not doing? I'm not putting their shit on my feed and being like, okay. On that note, I'm gonna get going. I have some shit that I gotta plan for. All of the competitors, I'm super proud of you. Thank you for showing up. We'll do the best that we can. There's gonna be mess ups, there's gonna be mishaps, there's gonna be hiccups from me. I already know that because I'm challenging myself. I'm not just making it like it is here. So for all of you who are stepping up to the plate and making yourselves uncomfortable by putting yourselves out there, I absolutely promise you that I'm going to follow your lead 100%. And we'll learn from it as organizers, as streamers, and the future content will be 10 times better. So let's just get through this tournament, everybody, all together. And we'll do the best that we can. On that note, I might check you all tomorrow. I would like to check in with the tournament organizers just because we have matches going on right now. I hope that you all have a good night. Hang in there. The future is bright. You now know exactly what our step-by-step plan is, and we'll get there. So, on that note, have a good night. And oh, by the way, get into content creation because Persuade will piggyback you. Put some energy into it.